Well, howdy there, folks. This is your host, ID Jester. Thanks for joining me again today. Got a brand new game to look at here called Endless Legend. This is an alpha. I can't stress that enough. This is an alpha. Just was early released on Steam. If you get on Steam right now, you can pick it up for 25% off. So the classic edition I think was like $26, and the advanced edition was like $34, 25% off. What is Endless Legend? Well, glad you asked. Endless Legend is made by the same company, Iceberg Interactive, that made Endless Space, 4X outer space strategy game. And in that vein, it's kind of taken that same gaming mechanic and trying to transfer it into a 4X land-based fantasy strategy conquest game. A little bit similar to, say, Civilization, but not exactly. There's a lot of new and interesting mechanics that they are actually incorporating into this game. And it's not quite like Age of Wonders 3 either. It's kind of a, if you take Age of Wonders 3 and put that on the far left hand side, and you put Civilization on the far right hand side, I would say this falls somewhere in the middle. It's got some of the capabilities and mechanics of Age of Wonders 3, but also has some Civilization thrown in, and in fact, even some Heroes of Might and Magic, maybe with a little bit of the heroes and such. Again, this is just an alpha release. You can see down here they are trying to get some people to back this game so they can put more development into it. And like I mentioned, this is a game that was made by Iceberg Interactive. And they were the developers of Endless Space. Now, when Endless Space first came out, I was really excited about it, but there was some of the mechanics that just didn't work with an outer space type 4X game. But they brought a lot of new and interesting ideas, and so the game was okay, and I tried to play it again to see if they've changed and updated, and they've done some work on it to try to make it somewhat better. But all in all, I think the whole game mechanics and how things work just didn't flow that well for a 4X outer space game. And I'm thinking that a lot of the mechanics that didn't really work for a 4X outer space game are actually going to be pretty good for 4X fantasy land-based world map, I guess I should say, as opposed to multiple worlds. This is like a single world conquest game, such as like Civilization or Age of Wonders 3. You can see here on Endless Legends, this is alpha. So a lot of these features aren't finished yet. They're still being incorporated into the game. They are, it's basically a work in progress. One of the cool things about early access now is you can actually try the game out, see what you like, what you don't like, get on the developers' websites and post messages and let them know, give them ideas, suggestions, things like that. And hopefully they will do that and follow along and continue developing the game. Like I said, when Endless Space first came out, it was very new, it was very different. A lot of the ideas that they incorporated, and some of these you will continue to see in Endless Legends, but there is still quite a few new things. So this is going to be just an overview, a tutorial. I'm going to go slow. I'm going to kind of go over a few things and kind of talk about things, and then probably be doing a let's play through and try some of the mechanics and see how it plays in a different series. So this is basically just going to be an introductory to how things operate, some of the new mechanics, some of the interesting ideas that are incorporating in the game. You can play an introductory tutorial campaign, but you can see that's grayed out, so that's not active yet. But we are going to load up a new game here. There is a load game. Obviously, we don't have any load game. You can join a game. Of course, this is going to be moddable, so people can create mods for the game. The options screen here, quite a few options actually. I kind of actually like the interface on this. So far, it's been pretty good. I've got the video turned up to fantastic. I'm hoping that'll show some of the really nice details that they're incorporating into this. And of course, good resolution there. The UI, advanced audio, notifications, you can actually decide what pops up, what messages pop up, what doesn't pop up. And of course I've got the audio turned down so that you can hear the recording. So let's go ahead and start up a new game. When we bring up a new game, very similar to most 4X world conquest games, you're going to choose the world. You're basically going to be building the world around you. You're going to choose your faction. You're going to choose how many enemies you're playing with, and it'll randomly create a world based on these settings. So right now in the game there are only 4 different races. There's the Wild Walkers, who strive to build rocks and trees into great living monuments. The relationship with dust is intense and dangerous. Under its influence, they can suddenly explode into berserker rages. So dust, again, just like in Endless Space, is basically the currency. Think of dust as basically gold. It's your currency. There are the Broken Lords, who are a faction of knights and town builders that exist only as energy spirits wrapped in the greatest suits of armor, noble warriors, lords wearing the pristine polished armor of chivalry and adhering to chivalric ideas even though they are immaterial and have lost their humanity. So that's the Broken Lords. The Vaulters. True origin of the Vaulters is lost even to themselves. Their history, as they teach it to their children, begins within a great mental habitat logged beneath the surface of Agrian. It's the name of the world. Have a hard time saying it though, obviously. Agura. Maybe that's how you say it. Agura. That's the name of the world that you're living on, or we're going to be battling over, basically. So that's the Vaulters. And the Necropages, the hive people that survive by ingesting and converting others as they infect them with their plague. So lots of, you can see, definitely quite a lot of different variations in just the different races here. I think I'm going to just try the Windwalkers. They sound pretty interesting. Trying to strive to build the rocks and trees into great living monuments. Now here are all the bonuses that this race has, and you can hover over them and see what they do. But we'll see another screen later on that shows you kind of a better layout of that. You can have time battles. So in this game, unlike Civilization, when you attack your enemy, it goes to sort of what I'm going to call a mini tactical screen. It basically stays on the same strategic map, but each hex becomes its own tactical hex at that point, and then you're going to tactically have a battle, and the battle is going to rage until one side or the other is defeated. And we're going to hopefully have a look at that. Maybe not in this tutorial video, but later on we'll be able to see that. Empires, you can have between 4, or start between 2 and 6 right now. They're kind of limited. I believe you're going to have up to 8 player in the final released version. Again, this is just alpha. We're just going to stick with the 4. World region size, we're going to say is okay. Region size is interesting concept, which we're going to show you here in just a minute. Let's leave it on normal just so we can see what the normal size looks like. The temperature of the world, kind of is going to have some bearing on the food and the industry and dust productions. We're just going to leave it on Terran right now. The world's shape. You can have Pangea, small Pangea, or no ocean. We'll just leave it on Pangea. World size we're going to put on normal, just so you guys can see. And of course there are advanced settings. Under the advanced settings you can have some interesting options here where they're going to have seed maps where you can play a specific map number. If you know which map, or if you generate a map that has a specific layout that you like, you can play the same map again. World wrap means if you go off your right hand side, you'll go to the left goes off to the right. And the geometry here, it starts off with default. You can go to hexagonal or you can go to chaotic, and chaotic makes the world very very unique and different, and so I'm going to choose that option just to try it out. So we'll apply that setting there. 3 other factions. I think that's about everything we're going to talk about there in this screen. We're just going to hit the start button and let it randomly generate a map for us. So like as I mentioned, lots of new and interesting ideas that they're adding to the 4X world conquest genre of games. Kind of taking some things from multiple different games, as I mentioned, some Civilization, Age of Might and Magic, and adding in their own spice and variety, and we're going to see how it flows. Now, one of the coolest things ever I really like is the way that this fog of war disappears. If you saw that in the beginning there, I love how the fog of war disappears as you expand out and see. Now you can use your zoom key to zoom out and in, and you will see, based on your layout there, you can use your arrow keys to move up, down, left, and right, and of course your scroll button to zoom in and out. And I'm assuming the plus key and the minus key. Nope, must be a different key. Alright, so if I zoom out, I can kind of explain something a little bit better. In the beginning we had set up regions and asked you for the region size. Well, regions are basically each area of the world is split up into different regions. You can see that this region here might be even bigger, we just can't tell because of the fog of war, but you'll see the region, when it reaches another edge of the region, you'll see this white line or line around it that shows you the edge of the region. The regions are important because you can only actually build one city in each region. So if you're in a region, the enemy can't come in and just plop a city down next to you. You can only build one city per region. Now if they come in and take over your city, then they can raise it and they can come in and build their own city. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. So deciding which location in your region is going to be the best for you is obviously very, very important. And as you can see, there are quite a really good lot of graphic details going on inside the maps here. You can see very good attention to detail. I'm liking this quite a bit actually. So hopefully they'll continue that. Some of these terrain tiles you can see are just going to be plain forest locations or desert locations or such like that. Some of the other ones are actually going to give you different resources and different bonuses. If we click on this, or I guess hover over it, you can see that this is a salt desert. It's going to give us effects. Is going to give us +1 food, +1. Let's see, what is it going to give us? This preservative properties of salt are well known. This site improves the longevity of food stocks and provides a valuable trade commodity. Alright, so just like a lot of the other 4X games, you're going to be building different cities on different tiles, and you're going to use those tiles to get your basic production, your research, your food production, and everything from these tiles. And right now I have these turned off. You can come down here to the bottom right hand corner and you can click to show and hide the NIDSI. So the NIDSI. FIDSI. Yes, something like that. Alright, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here so you can see. So each one of the tiles has a certain amount of food or science or dust, production, and also scientific research production for that different locations. And like I said, you can click on or hover your mouse over a hex here. You can see that this is a wizard stone. It's the centerpiece of the stone arch representing a huge flaming eye. Objects flex and join in this proximity, a potent of strange magics. Alright, so you can see there the output's going to give us 1 food and 3 production, 4 science, and 1 dust. So let's talk about our different resources here. So food obviously is to feed your citizens, your people, for your empire. Science is basically your research into unlocking new technology. Production, or the gears, or production industry, which is going to help you produce things faster. And dust is your currency, like I mentioned. Basically, it's your gold that you're going to use to buy units and use for upkeep on different things. This over here is an Untamed Ruins, which we'll talk about hopefully in a little bit here. What do we got here? A massive tree. So lots of food there, lots of production. So as you can see, only having one area of being able to build in a city in here. And we can see the edge of this area goes out one spot up here at the north. It looks like it has a couple spots out here to the east yet that this region is. And each region is named. That'll let you know what the region name is. So we know we got some out here to the east, probably a little bit more to the south. It looks like some to the west. And probably out here maybe a couple more tiles. So what we're going to do is we're going to expand out a little bit just to see with our units to find out what is out and where is going to be our best location in this region to build a city. So if we click on our units here, you can see that inside this army we have 3 different units. We have a settler, looks like we have a Dakarta Ranger and another Dakarta Ranger. Each of them have a certain amount of life points, an attack value, initiative value, a movement speed, a defense, and their critical rating, and their level. So if I want to move just one of these individual units, I just click on it so it's orange, and then I'm going to, is it right click on the map? Yes, so I will right click, and we're going to just have these guys come out this way here. And you can see as the, didn't see it as well as when you're going into the fog of war here. But as they expand out, the fog of war will go away. And you can see here's our border's edge. This region looks like it's really interesting because it has this little area that pops out. So these 2 hexes are going to be inside this region. I don't know what might be inside those regions, but could be interesting. Alright, so then we'll do the same thing here with our other ranger. And watch as we go off in this area, you can see that as the fog of war disappears. Oops. Hello. Click on that. Encountered a minor faction. Alright, which are the Kenzanzi. Encountered a minor faction. They are demons, they're flying, and basically minor factions are going to allow you to, if you take over minor factions, there's several ways to do it. You can do it militarily, you can do it diplomatically, they might even give you quests that you can complete to have them join your side, and if they join your side, you will see the effects that they will give us on our empire, which is going to be 1 of the purple stars on your city, and 1 per pacified village on your city. Alright, so we can show the location of this, and there it is right there. And of course this message ended up going over here to the right hand side. We haven't talked much about the interface, but we will, so there they are up there in the top. So you can see they have a little banner there, and if we hover over that space, we should get some more information about them. Alright, next, let's see if we can move these guys a little bit further. You notice how as we go in there, the fog of war disappears. That's awesome. Alright, so you see this white boundary here. This means that there is another region right here. This starts part of another region, which might be up in here, it might be L-shaped, it might be U-shaped, who knows. Each region is built differently. So I could actually settle a city like right here, where this unit's at, and then come in and settle a city right here, and I would have claimed both of these regions. So it's important that you try to figure out the best location for your city. So this is our settler unit here. As you can see, it says settler, and we're going to try and move this around to a good location. Maybe come to here. There we go. And basically when you settle a city, it's going to take the tile there and all of the surrounding tiles and give it bonuses. So let's see here. Can we settle the city? Here we are. Found a new city. So we did explore a little bit more region here. You can see we have some. You will notice that there is terrain height, obviously. In this game, it is very important. So if we take this hex here, and you have this hex here, units that are on a higher height have an advantage against the units that are on the lower level of land. So a unit up here on this hex that's attacking this unit down here has a distinct advantage. You all just also notice that some of the terrain types have cliff sides here. You notice the cliff sides. So cliff sides are impassable by walking units. I believe flying units can go over them, but walking units obviously can't. So there's a lot of strategy into where you want to found your cities in your different regions, not only for the resources but for their offensive and defensive capabilities. This is a glass steel deposits. Here, strong, wow, okay, so you're going to get 1 food, 2 production, 1 science, and 1 dust. But I think I'm just going to go ahead for practice, or not practice purposes, but for just tutorial purposes. We're going to found a city in this region here, and you can see it's going to bring up this little overlay here, and we're just going to place that overlay where we're standing and click on it, and you will see we have founded our new city. When I actually click on the city, you will notice that it's got all the hexes that the city has, and all the hexes around it, except for the ruin hexes, because we haven't actually explored this ruin hex yet. We don't know exactly what it's going to give us. But any of the locations here, if we click on our hex for our city, brings up a whole new set of information that we need to know about and learn about. So the first thing you're going to do is each individual unit or each individual city that you make will produce a worker. And similar to Endless Space, you can put this worker into any of the different classifications. You can put them into working food, or working on industry, or working on science, or working on gathering dust, or working on getting influence. So that's what the FISDI stands for, FIDSKI. That's what that represents, is the different resources. So you got food, industry, science, dust, and influence. And what do each one of these things do? Well, food will provide you food with your for your citizens to eat and grow and prosper. and you can see any abundance that you're getting is going to add towards getting a growth through your city, which will give you another worker that you can then apply towards any of the different resources. The other important thing is that these workers will add for your total of how much you're earning for that different thing. You can see that if I don't have a worker on this, I'm gaining 4 from my city. I'm going to get 7 from my tiles that are around my city. Have modifier of -2. That's the consumption I have. So each one of the workers takes 2 food. So I have a net bonus of 5 that I get from everything. And you can see here that if we count up our food tiles, you can see we've got 3 here, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you just add these up, and you will see that that is 7 that I'm getting from that. 4 getting from the city hall, or for having a city there. 0 from the workers. 2 because it costs us 2 per citizen, and that gives us our total. Now if we put a citizen working on that tile, you will notice their numbers have drastically changed, and also changes the number of turns that it's going to take for our city to grow. And once our city grows, we'll get a second worker. So obviously growth is important, because the more workers you have, the more they will apply their different bonuses to the different resources.